Signs in the sun. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And this is going to be a video on signs that are in the sun. Okay? Now, the so-called white man told you that the sun is bigger than the earth. Now, honestly, I do not believe that. Okay? I don't believe the sun is as big as the so-called white men say it is. I mean, when you look up in the sky, you kind of get an idea of how big the sun could possibly be, but I don't believe the sun is as big as it is. But I mean that's just me though. But I'm gonna go ahead and play this video.
This is Doppler 7. We have had quite a bit of activity coming off of the sun, at least 17 solar eruptions from a single sunspot here recently, in recent days, and we have some incoming CMEs. This is all coming from this area, this overactive sunspot called AR 2975. It's been emitting flares ever since Monday, March 28th. We have incoming and hitting right now what they're calling cannibal CMEs. As they come in, I'll show you here with a couple different graphs the timing. As you can look here, you can see where this was emitted from the sun, back to back as they're coming in. You're going to hit Earth in both stereo A and stereo B, which are these out here, getting all the images. You can see the eruption took place right there off the side, and there is a blackout warning for the whole region.
Now, I'm gonna have to pause it right there, okay? I'm not sure as to what he mean by it's gonna hit Earth. First off, the sun orbits around the Earth. The sun is not stationary like the so-called white man tells you, okay? The so-called white man will tell you that the sun sits in the center of the galaxy, and then every other planet orbits around the sun. No, the sun orbits around the Earth. Okay.
Region of America.
And that's what I want to get to. Blackout warning from all the reasons.
And don't get me wrong, Dabu 7, he's an Israelite, okay? He's a Jake. He's one of us. He's our people. So just wanted to put that out there.
Right now, the warning has been going out about these blackouts. All right.
They're saying that on top of the 17 solar eruptions that have already happened, we have an X flare that is just cut loose as these CMEs arrive. So the X flare is the most significant thus far. You can see the beautiful auroras coming from this energy stream. This is North Dakota. Skies, if you got clear skies, step outside. You never know what you may see. The sun very active right now. This correlates also to earthquake activity and potential volcanic eruption activity. And here is this X 1.3 class explosion that took place on the sun. Just happened yesterday evening. They expect the energy from this to get to Earth here around the 1st to the 2nd. They've got more information here right there. The early hours of April 2nd is when the CME from the X flare is going to be hitting. They're warning with all the stuff incoming it can cause.
And you must ask yourself, how do they know the exact date of when this is going to happen. That sounds kind of fishy to me. It sounds like the United States is going to release some kind of EMP on this country or something. Either that or they're going to shut off all the power grids across the country. Because how long has this country been around after post slavery? Hmm? Okay? Back in the 18 and even the early 1900s, there was no such thing as a national power outage all across the country. Okay, the sun just don't do that. Okay, and a matter of fact, the Earth itself has a force field around it, which basically protects it from outside activity. Why do you think the waters that are up there in so-called space does not reach the Earth? That's because the Earth has a force field around it. Okay, the so-called white man calls it the Van Allen belt, the Van Allen belt. So whatever the sun emits, it's not gonna have an effect on the Earth. Okay, that the only effect that the sun is gonna have on the Earth is what? It's gonna give light and warmth and photosynthesis to plants and such. It's going to melt snow and provide the light. But as for like these flares that that the so-called white man speaks of, that just you know yeah, okay, yeah, those things are happening. That's according to prophecy, though. And a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and get this. I'll go ahead and get it, because the Holy Scriptures speak about that. Okay, Luke, okay, chapter 21, and I believe it's 20, it could be verse 24, but I'll just type in, okay, Luke chapter 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun. So what's happening here? What's happening here in the sun is no more than a sign. Not that it's going to have some kind of, because how many times have there been signs in the sun? Has it ever, caused power outages and all this? No. You know, whenever the so-called white man tells you that the sun is gonna, emit some kind of electromagnetic pulse, and it's gonna cause power outages in certain regions of the earth. No, look, man, no, okay, no. That's why the earth has a shield around it. Okay, there's not gonna be any. If there is a power outage, know that the United States government is behind it. Oh yeah, let me get that as well. You know what? Actually, let me finish up here. This is some delicious food right here. Luke 21 and 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars." Right? We see so-called UFOs, traveling amongst the stars. Whenever you look up at the night sky, you might see like a tiny little glowing dot that's moving amidst the stars. That's a so-called UFO. The Holy Scriptures calls them the chariots of Israel. Okay, and yeah, there have been signs in the moon, blood moons, lunar eclipses, you know, and, and in some cases, well, whenever you look up at the moon on certain nights during the summertime, you literally see like a ring in the sky, a ring up in the sky where the moon is shining at. Okay, so there shall be signs in the sun. There shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations. Yeah, distress of nations. Ukraine is in distress right now. And it's not just that country. There's many countries that are in distress right now. They're talking about a global famine, a global food shortage. okay, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Now, also, let me also get that as well. Okay, this man is yo. 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices. You know, and there's many devices that the so-called white man comes with. Because spiritually, he is Satan. He's Satan's physical counterpart here on the earth, set up to do evil. And a part of his evil is what? Coming up with lies. This man would tell you that one day the fire will go out on the sun and the earth will enter an ice age. What? Nah. The Holy Scriptures in Ecclesiastes 1 verse 4, it tells you the earth abideth forever. So how much more the moon and the sun? Here it is. Somehow the sun is going to perish, but the earth and the moon is still going to be here? What? What kind of sense do that make? Nah, man. Look, when Yahushua and his elect men, which are those angels spoken of in the book of Genesis, when they created the sun, the earth, the moon, the stars, and everything you see out there, they made sure that it was perfect. The Holy Scriptures tell you that. And God, which is really Elohim, saw that they saw that the creation, they looked at the creations and saw that it was good. Okay, when you look up that word good means perfect, blameless, without mistake. Okay, no mistake was made when the sun, the earth, the moon, the stars, and everything was created. Okay, the only mistake on this planet is the so-called white man. I mean, even though he was created to do evil technically, but still, this man, this man does nothing but bring destruction, both spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And that's starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation and people. But with that, I'm going to say, Shalom is on to the next one.